Okay, for question 10, now we are dealing with the square root. Instead of given an exponent, we're given a radical. Okay, so whenever we have a radical and x is inside of a radical, we do have to remember at the end to check for extraneous solutions, because we're going to get a set of solutions and sometimes one will be good, the other one won't be good, or maybe both of them won't be good, or both of them will be good. So we do need to check our solutions. So anytime we see a radical, this is different than when we see an exponent. Now, we are doing PEMDAS backwards to solve for x, which is why we want to first take care of the 3 instead of the 2. If we did the 2, I would have to go and divide everything by 2. I'd have to divide that by 2, which would be fine. But that doesn't divide by 2 evenly. And if I did it on the other side, 5 does not divide by 2 evenly. It's a huge mess. That's why we don't want to do any of that. We want to start by taking care of the subtraction piece first, because we're doing PEMDAS backwards. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. Going to copy everything on the left side of the equal sign. Remember, those cancel out. And we're left with 5 plus 3 equals 8. Okay, there is nothing adding. There's nothing dividing. I know that it looks like we want to maybe take care of the subtraction piece here next, because that's also subtracting. Right now it's protected inside the square root, right? So I can't really reach this 5 until I get rid of the square root. And I can't get rid of the square root until I get rid of all the numbers outside the square root. So we just got rid of this one. Now we're going to get rid of this one. So if it's multiplying to the square root, it's 2 times the square root of this. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to divide. We're dividing by 2. So that cancels out, because it would be 1. And 1 times the square root of x minus 5 is still going to just be the square root of x minus 5. On the other side, we're going to now have a 4. Okay, next, we're going to get rid of the square root. It's kind of like taking care of the exponent piece. Now we're going to get rid of the square root by doing the opposite. So when we did an exponent, we had to do the radical. When we have the radical, we got to do the exponent. So we're going to square both sides to get rid of that square root. So we're going to copy the inside. The inside of the radical does not change at this point. There is a proof for that. You could do the box method. You could see how it doesn't change. But just know, for simplicity, do not change the inside of the radical. I don't know why I just wrote that in red. Let's go ahead, just clean it up so there's not too much craziness going on. So 4 squared is 16. Now, almost have x by itself. All I have to do is add 5 to both sides. We got x equals 21. Now, we do need to check and make sure that it's not an extraneous solution, that it actually works. Like I said at the beginning, anytime we have a radical, we do need to check for extraneous solutions. You can get an answer and then not actually work out. Kind of a bummer, but we're going to do this 2 times, and we're going to replace x with 21. Minus 5, minus 3 is on the outside of the radical. Could save some time, put this in the calculator or in Desmos, but I'm just going to work everything out by hand so that you can see what's going on here. We got 2 times 4 minus 3 equals 5. 8 minus 3 does equal 5. Everything is good. So x equals 21 is a valid solution.